Welcome to Book to Blueprint, where powerful books become practical blueprints for real life. You do not need more information, you need execution. This is Book to Blueprint. All right, welcome. Today we are diving deep into the 12-week year. But this isn't just another book summary. Nope, we're handing you the actual blueprint for implementing it. Think of this as your personal cheat sheet for execution, designed to help you get massive results starting, well, right now. This quote right here, it gets to the very heart of the problem. You know how it is with annual goals? We have this false sense of security. We kind of coast through the first few months thinking, oh, I've got plenty of time. Before you know it, it's November and we're scrambling. The 12-week year system just completely demolishes that mindset. It creates the focus and the end of your energy, but it does it 4 times a year. So here's the game plan for this explainer. We're going to start with what you can expect to achieve. Then we'll unpack the big idea behind it all. After that, we'll cover the core rules, give you a step-by-step plan to get started, detail the weekly habits you need, and finally, we'll talk about the common traps to avoid. Okay, first things first, let's get crystal clear on the outcome. This isn't just some catchy book title. It's the actual promise of what happens when you really apply this blueprint. Now, the goal here isn't just to work harder or faster. It's really about getting those breakthrough results because you're so intensely focused. And that last part is so important. Intentional life balance. The system isn't about burning yourself out. It's a framework that you can apply to your health, your relationships, your personal projects, all of it. So you can make huge progress in the few areas that really matter most every single 12 weeks. So how does this all actually work? Well, it all starts with one big idea, a fundamental shift in how you think but powers the entire system. This really shows you the course shift. See, with a 12-month timeline, it's just so easy to procrastinate. Have a bad February? You tell yourself, I've got 10 more months to catch up. But let's be honest, you really do. The 12-week year forces you to take action now. You just can't afford a bad week. So every single day counts. And hey, if you have a bad year, you get a completely fresh start in just a few weeks. And that brings us to the magic word here, periodization. It's really just the simple act of redefining your year to be 12 weeks long. And this isn't just playing with words, it's a powerful psychological trick. You're basically manufacturing a deadline. The end is always just around the corner, which kills complacency and forces you to focus on the critical things you need to do today. All right, so if periodization is the big idea, then you can think of these 5 disciplines as the operating system. They're the basic rules of the game that you absolutely have to follow to make it all work. Now, this is super important to get. This system is not one more thing to add to your giant to-do list. The 12-week year is the container that holds everything else. It's the underlying system you use for your business goals, your fitness plan, your family projects, you name it. The system itself doesn't change, the goals you plug into it do. So these are the 5 disciplines. A compelling vision gives you your why. A written plan gives you the what. Process control and time use, those give you the how for your day-to-day actions. And finally, measurement tells you if any of it is actually working. When you use them all together, they create this complete, self-correcting system for performing at your absolute best. Okay, let's move from theory to practice. This is the how-to section. This is your step-by-step guide to putting this entire system into action, starting, well, whenever you're ready. So getting started really just involves 3 main steps. First, you gotta craft your vision. What do you really truly want your life to look like in, say, 3 years? Second, from that big vision, you build your 12-week plan, and focus is everything here. Pick just 1 to 3 goals that will make the biggest dent. 1 for each of those goals, you define the specific daily and weekly actions or tactics you need to take. And finally, you decide how to then keep score. Now, to make this work, you have to measure the right things. A lag indicator is the end result, the revenues you hit or the pounds you lost. But a lead indicator is the action that you can control that drives that result, like the number of sales calls you made or workouts you completed. See, you can't directly control the lag indicator, but you have 100% control over the lead, and that's where all your focus needs to be. Let's look at a perfect example to make this super clear. Your goal, losing 10 pounds, that's the lag indicator. You only find out if you hit it at the very end. But the lead indicator is the number of workouts completed. You can track that every single week. If you execute on your lead indicators, you're creating a predictable path to actually hitting your lag indicator. It's that simple. Okay, so you've got your vision, your plan, and your metrics all set up. How you make sure you actually follow through week in and week out? Well, that's where we get into the recurring habits of execution. It all boils down to a really simple but powerful weekly routine that's built on just three core behaviors. This right here, this is the engine of the entire system. First, you score your week. You just track what percentage of the tactics you plan to do that you actually did, and the target is 85%. We're aiming for excellence here, not perfection. Second, you plan your week. Every single week, you invest about 15 minutes to map out the key actions for the next 7 days. And third, you participate in a WAM, which is a weekly accountability meeting. Honestly, the WAM may be the secret sauce in this whole system. It's a short 15-minute meeting with an accountability partner or a small group where you just report your score, say what you plan to do next week, and get some feedback. It might sound simple, but it creates this incredibly powerful structure of positive peer pressure that just dramatically increases your odds of actually succeeding. Okay, so you have the full blueprint. To wrap things up, let's look at the most common ways people fail when they try to implement this, so you can sidestep those traps right from the start. First off, don't cherry pick. This is a closed system. All the power comes from using all 5 disciplines together. Second, and this is a big one, don't quit after a bad week. A low score isn't failure, it's just feedback. Third, forget about being perfect. Hitting 85% of your most important tasks is excellence. Fourth, you've got to learn to act on your commitments, not just on how you feel. Motivation comes and goes, discipline is what gets you through. And finally, watch out for those middle weeks. Around weeks 5 to 8, that's when the novelty wears off and your commitment really gets tested. This idea of productive tension is so important. When your weekly score shows that you're not executing on your plan, yeah, it feels uncomfortable, but that's the whole point. That discomfort is the signal telling you that you need to adjust your actions. Leaning into that feeling instead of running away from it is what drives growth and pretty much guarantees you'll get results. So there you have it, the complete blueprint for the 12-week year. The real beauty of the system is that you don't have to wait for January 1st. You don't need anyone's permission. Your next year, your next shot and major breakthrough, it starts this coming Monday. The only question left is, what are you going to achieve? If you have a book in mind that should be added to our list, comment below. If this blueprint helped you, subscribe and build with us. We are doing this one book at a time. Remember, you do not attract what you want. You attract what you do. More blueprints are coming. Stay intentional, stay consistent. Now it is time to act and build.